The humble roguelike. Is there any genre that captures the indie ethos better? People using procedural generation, clever systems, tight gameplay, and a wonderful story sometimes to stretch limited time and budget into something millions can play over and over again. It's one of the most popular genres on the market, objectively. Balatro, Hades, Gunfire Reborn, Slay the Spire. All of these are textbook examples of how far the roguelike formula can go when it's done right. Let's continue. Binding of Isaac. I don't know, Peglin, Spelunky, Dead Cells. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But what does matter is the problem. Because roguelikes are so popular, everyone wants to make a roguelike. And for good reason. These are the reasons why the indie roguelike is the most competitive genre in gaming. In 2024 alone, there were 1602 roguelikes released on Steam. Not just indie games overall, straight roguelikes. It is an absolute flood. Why? Because compared to an RPG where you need writing and a mountain of content, or a strategy game with deep and complex systems, roguelikes are, comparatively speaking, simple. Stereotypically pixel art, procedural generation to inflate content. You don't really need a giant story, just funny item descriptions. If you have a tight loop and lots of items, congratulations, you have made a roguelike. So now everybody is taking their shot at that indie jackpot. Except the jackpot isn't money. We are in the modern game industry after all. It's attention. And when that many games release, player expectations go insane. The supply curve doesn't just move, it shifts. You know why? Because every time a new indie game is released, specifically a new very good indie roguelike, it's going to increase the standard for every other roguelike because there is infinite supply of games in the digital age. Players will expect better synergies, cleaner mechanics, more replayability, maybe even a great story. Look at Hades. Because the top roguelikes already provide that. And players have limited time and money. If they're going to pick one indie roguelike out of a dozen releasing next week, they're going to pick the one that looks the most polished, the most creative, or the most promising. Why give you the benefit of the doubt when your competitors are constantly dropping gems constantly? And speaking of constant, this genre innovates fast. Vampire Survivors changed the game overnight. The enemies were coming to you. Balatro did the same thing. Suddenly everybody is making the real life game slash roguelike. Pool roguelikes, chess roguelikes, dark roguelikes, card roguelikes, more like Balatro, etc., etc., etc. With low barriers to entry and tons of talent, innovation happens at lightning speed because you got some real hungry guys out there, hungry guys and gals and everybody in between and all of that, that just want to make a good roguelike. Trends evaporate almost instantly. Every new roguelike has to push something new just to get noticed. And then there's the race to the bottom. Already a problem in most indie genres, but in the roguelike genre, it gets absurd. Slay the Spire, 75% off, down to $6.25. Hades, 75% off. 75% off, also down to $6.25. Balatro, $13.50. Gungeon, sale. Dead Cells, sale. Vampire Survivors is $5. This sets a hard price ceiling. If Balatro is $13.50 and massively popular, why should players risk $15 on you? If Slay the Spire drops to $6.25 and you price at $10, ladies and gentlemen, you are SOL. Everybody is competing for peanuts because, once again, the more indie roguelikes release and the more the hits discount themselves to steal attention, the lower the average price becomes. And even if you get your moment in the spotlight, it might be brief. You get a Northern Lion video, great. YouTuber picks you up, awesome. Get a crap ton of wish lists. And 2 weeks later, interest falls off a cliff because people have moved on to the next new roguelike. Relevance is fleeting. Attention is fleeting. The spotlight in and of itself is a flash. So these are the reasons why Indie roguelikes are the most competitive genre in all of gaming. It's essentially the SEC of indie development. High skill, high demand, brutal competition. Zero room for error, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to succeed in this genre, you need polish, creativity, constant innovation, anything else you can think of, you name it. And a marketing strategy that also keeps you visible. Because if you can stay in this battlefield, if you can rise to the top in the indie roguelike sphere, you're sitting on one of Steam's biggest and most reliable markets. Your game can sell hundreds of thousands, if not millions upon millions. But you have to make it there first. And in this genre, it's a playoff system. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, do all that. I'm going to see you guys next time. Peace.